Hey to everyone. In this we'll see the types of integration testing. In integration testing, we have two types, that is incremental integration testing and non-incremental integration testing. This integration testing has been divided into another two subtypes, that is top-down incremental integration testing, bottom-up incremental integration testing. Now let us see what does this incremental integration testing means. In incremental integration testing, we'll take up two modules and check if the data flow between these two modules is working fine or not. If it is working fine, then we'll add one more module and we'll test it again. We'll continue this by adding another module and another module incrementally. So this type of testing, it is called as incremental integration testing. Since we are adding the module one after the another, it is called as incremental integration testing. Next we'll see top-down incremental integration testing. This top-down incremental integration testing means we'll be incrementally adding the modules and test the data flow between these modules, and we should also make sure that the module which we are adding is a child of the previous one. You can see in the diagram here, first is the parent one, next is child 1, child 2, child 3. First we'll be doing the integration testing between the parent and child 1. Next we'll be adding another module, that is child 2. Then we'll be doing the testing again. Then we'll add child 3 and we'll do the integration testing again. This is how the top-down integration testing works. Next we'll see bottom-up integration testing. In this, we'll start testing from the last child to the parent one. This incrementally adding the modules and testing the data flow between the modules, we should make sure that we are adding the parent of the previous one. Before we were adding the child of the child, but here we are adding the parent. So this is it is flowing in the vice versa of the top down. So this is called as bottom up incremental integration testing. You can observe in the diagram here, first we have done a testing between the child 3 and child 2. Then after that we have added child 1. Then after that we have added here parent. This is how the bottom up integration testing works. Next we'll see an example for incremental integration testing. You can see a diagram here of a software. The development team, they have developed a software and they have sent it to the testing team to test it. The testing team, they will first log in as CEO and create username and password, and they will try to create the username and password for the manager. If it is working fine, then they will add another one module, that is they will try to create a manager 2 username and password. Then if it is working fine, then they will add another module, that is create a manager 3. They will try to create username and password for it. Then if it is working fine, then they will try to add another one module, that is create engineer. They will try to add create the username and password. If it is working fine, then the integration testing is passed. This is how the top-down incremental integration testing works. Here first they had created CEO account, then manager, manager 2, manager 3, then engineer. Like this we keep on adding the modules. This is the top-down incremental integration testing works. For bottom up integration testing, we'll first log in as the engineer, then we'll try to add manager, then again we'll try to add manager 2 and then manager 1, then CEO. This is the bottom up integration testing working condition. Next is non-incremental integration testing. We use this method when the data flow between the features is very complex. That is, when it is difficult to identify which is the parent and which is the child 1, child 2, child 3, will not be able to identify that. At that time, we'll go with this non-incremental integration testing. This testing, it is also called as Big Bang method. In this method, we'll combine all the modules at one shot and we start testing the data flow between these modules. This is called as non-incremental integration testing. While doing this testing, we'll have some disadvantage also. That is, we might miss some of the important scenarios here. And it would be difficult to do the root cause analysis, even though if we find or identify the defect. It will be difficult for us to trace the defect from which it is happening. We'll see an example for non-incremental integration testing and understand it clearly. We can see an diagram of a Gmail inbox here. We'll first log into the Gmail, then we'll click on the inbox. Then when we are redirected to the inbox page, we have to do the non-incremental integration testing because there is no parent or child process here. So we should be doing only the non-incremental integration testing. This is how the non-incremental integration testing looks like, or a feature looks like. Next, we have something called stub and driver. Now let us understand what is this stub and driver. Stub is a dummy module which just receives the data and generates a whole lot of expected data. But it behaves like a real module. Even though it is a dummy module, it behaves like a real module. When the data is sent from the real module A to the stub B, then B just accepts the data without validating or verifying the data, and it will generate the expected results for the given data. This is the stub. Next, we'll see about the driver. Function of a driver is it checks the data from A and it sends to the stub, and also check the expected data from stub, and again it will send it to A. This driver is one which sets the test environment and take care of the communication and also analyzes the results and sends the report. Thank you for watching our video. Please do not forget to subscribe to our channel so that you do not miss any of our video or updates. Thank you.